For coming today to today's webinar. I'm Alexa Marie, and I will be giving you guys the intro. So today we're going to be learning about how to navigate and profit through the short sale process. Anish and Harry will be taking that over. They'll tell you guys a little bit more about themselves in a moment. So earlier I said that there'll be one lucky person who doesn't know that they're going to the boot camp in February, but will be. So if you want to get a chance to win a seat to the boot camp, please text Quick Start. That's what we're calling our boot camp now. Excuse me. I'm so used to calling it a boot camp, but we're calling it a Quick Start program now. So please text Quick Start to 954-800-6961 to save your seat, to get a chance to save a seat. It would be really helpful if you guys pull up the chat. Alexa will be giving us helpful links and reminders. If you ever forget the text word or the number, you can always refer back to the chat. So you guys can go ahead and open that up. We'll be sending you guys really great information in there. If you don't know what our Quick Start program is, it is basically the A to Z of wholesaling and flipping properties in the South Florida market. So you can learn how to find off-market deals, learn when to do a double posting versus an assignment of contract. Anish will be running that program. It's a 2-day intensive, Saturday and Sunday on February 5th and 6th. It'll be $595 if you're a member. I see a lot of members in the attendee list right now. You can actually get it for $525 through your member flow. So we'll talk a little bit more about the Quick Start towards the end of the webinar. We have some upcoming events. The next one is going to be this Thursday. We're going to be going over exactly what I was just talking about. What are the benefits of being a member with us? If you are a member or if you'd like to become one, if you don't have a membership and you want to be able to utilize it more to really have it pay for itself, then definitely come to that webinar. You'll learn how to get your $295 back for that membership, plus so much more in savings. Private Lending Made Easy is going to be our monthly meeting on February 2nd, Wednesday at 7 p.m. It's really great. Alan will also be back for another event that I'll be talking about in a moment. Before then, though, we have New Year's tax planning strategies with Jose Ramirez of Advanced Tax Advisors. He will also be in our Quick Start program. Come join us on February 8th at 11 a.m. And that second event with Alan Cowgill is going to be Private Lending for Real Estate Investors Workshop. It's a free workshop, half day, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., where he's going to be teaching you why private lending might be good for you and how to navigate that process of finding a private lender and securing that. And then diversified passive income, retire early through a simple, safer investment. That's going to be a free online webinar, Tuesday, February 15th at 11 a.m. And if keeping track of all of our events is a little much, you can always text the word BP Maria to opt into our events updates. We'll text you either 1 or 2 days before the event and the day before to remind you of our events that are coming up. So you can go ahead and text BP Maria to 954-800-6961 to get those updates. So you don't have to remember to go to our website and check in every week. We'll bring the events updates right to you. And speaking of our membership earlier, it's going to be $295. We'll talk so much more about that on Thursday. So make sure you come to our Thursday webinar. If you are a real estate investor friendly business, a corporate membership might be really great for you. We have an upcoming in-person event in April that we are planning for. And if you'd like to network with all of us and all of the other attendees to our events, that could be really helpful as well. We have a mentor program. I think Anish and Harry will be talking more about that later. A lot of people like to come to our Quick Start or bootcamp programs, and they're able to close deals and find deals on their own. If you need a little bit more support and you want that one-on-one type of service, then our mentor program could be right for you. You can go ahead and talk to Alexa here, and she will definitely get you set up with a discovery call with Anish to learn more about that. You can also go to our website at bpmria.com to book a discovery call. All right, thank you so much to our sponsors as well. And without further ado, Harry and Anish, are you guys ready to get started?
Yep, let's do this.
Awesome.
Oh, good. Fire it up.
So welcome, guys. Welcome to another one of our webinars. My name is Anish Dabe. How many people have been on our webinars? I feel like I've seen a lot of people on the names, very familiar. But in the meantime, I am CEO of BPM RIA. I've been an investor for 20 plus years. Besides being an investor, I'm a licensed real estate agent, a licensed mortgage guy. And, I've always had a passion for investing and making a difference for people, in the investing community. I flipped homes, wholesaled homes, multifamily, done subject to seller financing, lease options. So a lot of the tactics I've done. What I have found in the last 8 years, the most profitable ones have actually been short sales. So I always think that's always important too. Once you really kind of get a handle on it, you'll start seeing some big money also. I'm always just a little bit curious. Go ahead, Harry, why don't you introduce yourself, and then I want to see who our audience is too. It gives me a better idea.
Okay, my name is Harry Diamond. My wife Victoria and I started in the real estate business about 10 years ago by joining one of those nationwide programs. We got sold hook, line, and sinker into that and spent it up over $50,000 and never did a deal. But one of the things that we did do was we had an open mind. We kept researching and going to all these meetings. All of these programs say go to your local real estate investment association. So BRIA, or now BPM RIA, was one of them. We went to all the others, but we only felt comfortable here because there were so many like-minded people. We learned a lot. We were taken under the wing by Anish and learned a lot. Everything from wholesaling deals. That's how we started, because they put up 100% of the money, and it made it a no-brainer for us. All we had to do was follow the leader, and they took all the risk. Since then, we've expanded into a lot of different areas of real estate. And for those who you know me or know of me and my wife, that story is history. But for those who don't know me, we became very successful pretty quickly, and now are sharing and giving back to all of you. So we're glad you're all on this webinar today.
Yep, and one of the reasons why I have Harry on today is he predominantly has done short sales in the last 5-6 years, or maybe even a little longer. All the time feels the same. You definitely know when you're getting older when you lose track of time. So, but you guys have made over, a couple $1 million in net profit doing your deals, and a lot of them have been short sales. I know you guys do a lot of other deals, but I figured today that's why we'd have you on, and because I could ask you the tough questions. Our audience can ask you some really difficult questions of how the short sale process works. I always want to find out who our audience is a little bit. I've mentioned I am a licensed real estate agent. Harry is not. So I'm just kind of curious to see who's licensed, who's not. I know some of you guys want to become licensed. It gives us a good idea. And I know my agents, if you want to put it in chat, how's it going? I always laugh when my other friends or non-real estate friends, when I was a licensed agent, oh, it must be real easy what you do. You just drive people around and you make a big fat check. Right. So, and I laughed. I said, yeah, I don't think so. Maybe your experiences have been better than mine. I have sold, multi-million-dollar homes in the past, but I just feel like as real estate agents, you guys work way too hard. Literally tripping over dollars to pick up pennies. So it's just what, I could see. Yeah, look, we have a lot of real estate agents on here. Okay. Almost half of you guys are agents. So
they're looking to maximize their income by not passing up on those deals that they've passed on for years. So,
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, Regula, it's really easy, right? I know Regula's an agent. She's been an agent for a while too. Super easy. So that gives us a good idea. And then, the other question, like I'd like to know also is how many of you guys have been doing deals in the last 2 years? So are you guys new? And I'm using the last 2 years because, what's happened during the last 2 years, right? COVID. So did you stop doing deals if you were doing deals before and now you're not doing deals? What happened? Did COVID kind of stress you out and not doing your real estate career? So
in the beginning, it stressed me out. I dumped 2 properties too early. Made some profits, but not as much as I could have.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I do see a couple of people. I see a lot of you guys are new also. So it gives, you're at the right spot. Some of you guys are, or at least you haven't been doing deals in the last 2 years. Let me rephrase that. So we at BPM RIA, formerly BRIA, and Miami-Dade RIA, we averaged $25,000 per student deal, and now we're up to $35,000 during COVID. So I think that's always important too. So, but okay, we see a lot of people that are new, and so Harry, do you want to kind of actually, let's start from, I guess, the beginning, meaning what is a short sale?
Well, a short sale by definition is very simply selling a house for less than what is owed to the bank. And from there, usually it is when the banks start the pre-foreclosure process and we qualify or analyze or scrub our lists and find out if there is a potential deal. If there is no equity in the home, then we would work out a short sale with the homeowner to save them from financial ruin in a foreclosure. Maybe not total ruin, but certainly a major setback for at least 7 years. And so helping them through helping them through the process and getting them that most important forgiveness of debt called a waiver of deficiency is the most important thing for them to move on and basically put this chapter of their life behind them and start fresh.
Right. So I'm going to kind of, I know some of you guys may have, done short sales, and we'll find out how many guys are actually experienced doing that. Do you want to kind of, when you say pre-foreclosure, right, what do we actually mean by that, right? The homeowner stopped making payments. It has to be a minimum of 90 days. How do we know what a pre-foreclosure is? So, right, how do we know?
Oh, you're asking me.
Yeah. Well.
A pre-foreclosure is when after the homeowner has defaulted for 90 days, the bank petitions the court by asking the court to start the foreclosure process, and the bank has to tell the court why, because we are a judicial state. So therefore, there is a filing, a lis pendens, stands for lawsuit pending in Latin, and that is the start of the foreclosure process. But when a house goes to auction and actually sells, that is when the house is foreclosed. So in between those two timeframes is the pre-foreclosure time, and that is the best time to catch these properties because that's where the real deals are. Most of them are off market and they're very lucrative.
Yeah, and so that's, we want to get into the pre-foreclosure. I remember versus the foreclosure. So when I started in real estate 20 years ago, you always thought, or at least what I always thought, I should say, is that a foreclosure means like it's going to be a good deal, right? Like, oh my God, I'm going to buy a foreclosure. I want to get to the bank, and if I buy it, I'm definitely going to make money. And that's changed after 2008, and where a lot of the deals or foreclosures, they were not good deals. Even now, just because it gets foreclosed, it doesn't mean it's a good deal. It may or may not be. And I think that really changes the mentality, as the years go by on what a good deal is or not. Or I want to buy something at the courthouse, right? Before, Harry, like back in the old days, there was, I'm going to the steps of the courthouse, right? That was before everything went online. So some of you younger people, my millennials, there was a time where you could not buy houses online, if you could
There's
believe
no computers.
it. So,
What
and
was
then,
life like that? And carving on stone for writing tablets.
yeah, and the thing is, like, you know, like buying houses, even back in the courthouse, it was super competitive. I know in Dade County, when I lived in Miami, there's 5 or 6 big guys that were buying everything. They had more money than ever, and it was hard to, you know, break into that club. So for me personally, it didn't work. I remember also back in the day, they were always saying, oh yeah, I'm going to call up Bank of America and I'm going to try to buy their foreclosures. Good luck. You're never going to get to that person. You can't just walk into the branch and say, hey, I'm going to buy your what's your foreclosure list? You know, and those things were, it was a different time, but I thought that was feasible. I could tell you in my career, I would say, I don't know, I'd probably be less than 5 houses I bought at auction, maybe 6, between online auctions with the county or with, you know, some like Hubzu or some of the other companies online. It's very limited. And the issue that was really becoming is there's, especially here in South Florida, there's a lot of people with money or access to money, and they don't know what they're doing. And they're just bidding up these prices. And I feel like sometimes a little bit right now, it's that FOMO, fear of missing out on a deal. They want a deal so bad that they only see their numbers too. So I know today we're going to actually really talk about short sales. So what do we need? Like, go ahead and put in the chat, what do you guys think we need in the short sale process? Who are our teammates? Like, what people are important for the short sale process? So go ahead and put in the chat what some of the things that you would need before we tell you, of course. I got an attorneys, title agent, yeah. Anybody else? Capital.
Good question. That was a good
yeah.
answer. Capital.
Yep. Kevin, yeah, good relationship with owners, definitely important. Realtor. Good negotiator. Okay. Yeah, you guys kind of got it, right? Like, yeah, you need, you per se don't actually need an attorney to do it. You could use, you know, a title company. You definitely need a title company, a negotiator. With us, usually because we don't charge anything to our homeowners, the negotiator actually works for the title company. So I think that's important, right? Realtors, yeah, we have to list the property. Capital, absolutely, right? So it could be hard money or cash. So, or, you know, I saw lender, it could be, you need a hard money lender. It may be difficult to actually in this market to get a deal if you're trying to do conventional or FHA financing. The issue is a lot of times the properties are not in good condition. So I think that's something important. Good relationship with the BPO agent. Yep. It's good, right? What else? We use one more thing, especially if the house is in bad condition. What do you think? What do you think we use? Yep, you guys got it. Contractor, estimate, and inspector.
We don't want to gun, really. Long neighborhoods.
Right? Yep. So why would you, right? Why do you think it's important to have an inspector? What do you think is really important on that? Go ahead and put in the chat too. So Harry, why would you want an inspector or a contractor estimate versus you writing? I mean, you know your numbers.
Certainly the money is made in the buying. So if we can have a licensed contractor come in and find all the flaws that exist in the property that we might miss, and in the beginning you will miss some. Even today, I still miss some, but the higher that damage list is, that contractor repair report, the higher the repair number is, and therefore the lower the price we try to get the property from the bank. And creating that kind of equity that way is very, very important in a short sale.
Yep. And the most important thing is that it's considered a third party. So when I say a third party, they're unbiased. If Harry puts up a report of his own saying, hey, I need a roof, he just throws in a little invoice like, hey, these are the things that are wrong with it, and he's the buyer, right? What's the bank going to say? Conflict of interest, right? Harry, of course, wants that number.
Not going to listen to me.
Yep, exactly. So I think it's always important. So these are important things that you want as part of your short sale package. So we actually use one of our corporates, Guy Construction. We've been using them for years. He charges for investors. I don't, it's funny, at least I know what our price is. I think for all the investors, he charges $275 as to do this report. And we'll show you a sample of his report too, so that you could see how big it is. It's anywhere from 80 to 100 pages.
150, yeah. Some of them are really, really long, and that scares the banks. Every other contractor that we've seen over the years will give you a 2-page report, give you a list, say this is what it costs. But Guy is the one that puts it out. Each page has a picture and a description and everything, and that just really scares the banks to give us a better number.
And so the good thing is, Guy Construction, Oscar, it's one of our vendors. He knows what investors are trying to do, and they're trying to get better pricing. So he might say it's X amount of repairs, when you might do with your contract and you're seasoned, it might be 20 or 30% cheaper. So don't take, there's always two different ways. You are using the report to battle either the bank or homeowner. So we do use it on regular deals too, to show the homeowner. A lot of times these houses are not in good condition. Harry, I know we've done a lot of short sales. I don't know, put you on the spot. What was one of the most quote unquote challenged houses that, I remember a couple that, they had a skylight and they shouldn't have. So,
7 skylights. And we went when it was raining. I saw waterfalls in the living room and the kitchen. They were just pouring water into the house. It was very interesting. But I find that the worse houses, the better. The better the profit margin, the worse the house is.
Yeah, and the reason is if the house is in perfect condition, right? If they just built the house the last couple of years, it's kept up perfectly. Well, the bank's going to have they're going to want top dollar. So when I first started, if it was super scary, like you're talking about that house with, built-in waterfalls, which should not be happening. It's not some luxurious house. I would have walked away. I would have been like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? This is way too much for me. I can't do this. So I would have definitely walked away on that end of it. So I think that's always, what about anything else that you've seen that that was beyond
everything from ceiling collapses, mold dripping from the ceiling fans 3 inches thick, hoarders houses where you walk in, there's a tiny little pathway, everything's up to the ceiling except the walkway, which is about 1.5 feet off of the original floor. So you're walking through that. Whatever you do, if you're ever in a house, never open the refrigerator. You'll only do it once in your career, and you'll never do that again. But take my advice, skip that joy. But I don't like the fancy houses.
Wasn't that house? I remember that house. Didn't it? Now that it's not lunchtime anytime. Well, I'm out west, so it's not lunchtime anytime soon for me. But wasn't there maggots in there? Was that one of your houses? I know I had a house I opened up and I was like, oh my God.
Dead animals, bones and skin. And we had one home where the homeowner died and they didn't find him for 3 months. I got there 2 months after that and the house still was very aromatic. Even before you opened the door, you could smell it on the front step. But Just some nasty, nasty stuff, but you could, so some of the biggest profit makers are absolutely incredible. But yeah, we had one where a friend of mine opened the door and he got hit with this smell. And he goes, I'm not going in there. I said, that smell is money. And he looked around. It was very funny.
Yeah, and I'm going to kind of touch on what you were just talking about. Why don't you like going after the fancy houses? Like what's the real, because I know if you're, we did see a lot of newbies that are on today or haven't done deals, and you're watching your favorite HGTV show. You could fill in the blank. I won't even say the names of the show, but it's always the same. Yeah, all of them that, hey, I'm going to buy this for 800,000. I'm going to put this much money and it's going to sell in a day and I'm going to make X amount. No problems with permits, no problems with anything. And I did the whole project in 60 days or less, right? Some crazy numbers that come out there.
Maybe once in one miracle in your entire career. But I don't like the fancy ones because I'm not interested in fixing up houses. I know there's at my age, I have a little different exit strategy for my retirement career. But certainly if I was in my 20s, I would be definitely rehabbing on some of these properties. But the real fancy ones is a lot of risk. The more expensive ones, you can actually lose your business and your house if you make a mistake. Where the ones we play in, we're making bigger profits and taking less risk. I even had one realtor tell me when I sold a $140,000 house, we made a $62,000 profit on that. And he says to me that, he says, you make more money selling a $140,000 house than I do selling a $2 million house. And it was very stress-free business that my wife Victoria and I are in. We have to get things done, of course, and negotiate liens, etc. And that's not that difficult. But creating relationships and solving problems is something we love to do. But it's less stressful because there's less competition. If it was posted on the market on the MLS, you have people from all over the world bidding on these things with very, very deep pockets. And certainly many of you have seen that happen in the last 8 months with COVID. So we don't play that game. We find the ones that are distressed, both physically, definitely, and the homeowners that are financially stressed, and we solve their problems and we get rewarded quite well.
Yep. And let's talk about some of the, I don't know, what do you want to call the myths of a short sale? I heard about this. So I'm actually going to put a quick poll up here, really talking about what's your biggest roadblock to doing short sales? I'm always kind of curious what to hear, right? Is there not enough knowledge, not having a team? Takes too much time, right? It's a waste of time.
All of that is true. All of it.
Yeah, he doesn't want him in a competing market with you. I got you, Harry. We're not worried about competition.
Well, it's all true, but it's simple corrections. When I started, we were doing REOs, real estate owned foreclosure properties, and market was changing, and we didn't get a single deal. And I had at that time thought that short sales were tons of paperwork, and I was picturing from the floor up to about 4 feet thick of paperwork, and that it takes too long to do a deal, 6 months or more. And I was already doing REOs for 6 months and didn't even have anyone interested in my offers, and they were going too high and selling too high. So we jumped into short sales based on Anish's recommendation. At that time, the industry was changing and short sales were very lucrative and have remained extremely lucrative and plentiful, especially in the South Florida area. So yeah, the paperwork, I found out it really wasn't that much. And that even though on an average, some may take 6 months and some may take longer. I looked at this last night. even though it's calendar days, 6 month in calendar days, really we're putting less than 20 or 30 hours total over that time frame into a particular property. So when you're looking at a house, we had one that took, I picked a few out that were a little longer, 1 year and 7 months. The property was, the profit was $52,000. But at $40, 40 hours, that works out to $1,300 an hour. So the question I always say, was it worth it? And of course, the answer is yes. We just had a deal close 3 weeks ago. Took exactly 2 years because of other issues. But from the day we signed the contract with the homeowner to the day we closed was exactly 2 years to the day. We made over $69,000, so approximately $1,100 an hour. And then there was another one that took 6 months. We netted $118,000. Believe it or not, that one was almost $6,000 an hour. These are not uncommon. These are not just the top of the cream of the crop. We're across the board, the numbers are staggering. I think the lowest one was like $300 an hour.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's,
is it worth it? Of course it is.
those are like attorney rates, but right. So I mean, like, and I like that point about it, right? So yeah, it took a year or 2 years, but it reminds me, the analogy I like using, it's like baking a cake, right? You put in all the ingredients, you put in everything that you need, and then you stick it in the oven and you're just checking on it. It's the same process with a short sale. So really the key is, building your pipeline. And, I hate to say it, right? Like, we're not the rah guys. You're going to lose some deals. It's just real estate. It doesn't matter if it's a short sale, probate, regular deals. You might have 10 under contract. You might lose 2 or 3. The problem is lead generation. If you're living and dying on, one deal, right? You're going to be like, yes, no, I don't know what's happening. And that becomes the challenge. As I said, you will lose some deals. It's just the way it is. And the bank comes back too high on a number. The numbers don't make any sense. And it's just part of the game. I mean, it really is. Anyone that tells you, hey, every time you get a deal under contract on the investing side, you're going to close all of them, is not doing enough deals.
Extremely small percentage, though. I think over my 10 years was less than 4% to 1% of the deals. 1%. It was very, very low.
Yeah, and I know, we're talking in 2 years. What was your fastest short sale done?
30 days. 30 days, we made $34,000. And that was good because that was the first one. You said to us, usually take an average of 6 months. 30 days closed, made our money. It's like, oh, that was easy.
Yeah.
The next 9 took 6 months to do, but they all closed within 45 days. So just keep putting properties into the pipeline, and that narrows, it steadies itself out quite a bit.
Yeah, and that's depends on the lender. There's a lot of different moving parts. Some lenders move faster. If they're smaller lenders, they move faster. In general, think of like the big Bank of Americas and Chase. Sometimes there's just a servicer. So just because their mortgage statement says Chase or Bank of America or SunTrust, it doesn't mean they own the loan. They might be just servicing it for another big, company, and because all those companies have servicing departments. It also gets a little bit more complicated if it's a Fannie Mae loan or an FHA loan, because there's PMI insurance. So the insurance companies have to approve the final price. Here's the thing is, you're never going to know, right? You're going to deal with, if it's, X bank, you're going to deal with them. You're not going to know if it's Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. So you could literally have 2 houses, same street, let's just say they're exact copies, and, let's say, same bank, and one house goes for X amount, 200,000, and the other one goes for 230. There is no rhyme or reason. So as soon as I know Harry in the beginning, right? Well, why is the bank doing this? Why are not doing this? And I was like, it doesn't matter. You
I
can't
stopped
control
asking those questions.
There's no, I'm just going to let you know, there's no rationale. And part of it is because, you know, whether it's quarterly or, you know, I don't know if they do it quarterly or monthly, their portfolio changes all the time. The more they foreclose on, not to be nerdy on the finance end of it, you know, the Federal Reserve is going to make them have more money because of the bad debt. Remember, if it's a short sale, the homeowner still owns it. It's a non-performing loan, but it's not on the bank's books. So again, that's just for information for you guys, but it really, don't worry about that end of it. It's easy to fall into that trap of, you know, why is this, or I'm only going to go after this.
Yeah, you told me stop asking why, because I wasted my time on why. If they ask something, just get it to them. It's faster, easier to do than to argue with them, because there is very little logic in what they do. And it drove me crazy the first year or so, but once I let that go, that big weight was lifted off of me. Oh, they need this. Okay, it's stupid. They don't need it. Send it to them anyway. You know,
Yeah.
focus on, you know, helping more people. And so I stopped asking why.
Yeah, and so let's kind of I don't know, let's work through an example. You find someone, right? Pre-foreclosure. This is off market, guys. So we're going to the homeowner. We're using REIFax to get that data. And how are you actually getting, you know, so Harry's a little unique. Number one, he does no marketing. If you're looking for his private company, Valor Ventures, and you're looking for their great website, no website, right? So you spent $0 marketing.
In the beginning, we followed everything you said to do, you know, do your mailers, go out there. We did everything. Then we adapted and changed based on what we heard from the people. And about a year into it, since then, we haven't spent one single penny on advertising. And we're doing okay.
Yeah. How do you guys feel about that, right? But again, you know, they built their business. So
we're missing out on a lot. We definitely are missing out on a lot of deals. But again, that's different exit strategy. I ran 2 companies before. I don't want to run another company with multiple employees and more work. So it's just Victoria and I, and we're doing enough to be very satisfied for our living and our retirement.
I mean, Harry and Victoria in a little bit different spot. And I'm just going to kind of throw it out there, but they have like no debt. You know, they live in a beautiful home, and they don't do it. No mortgage, right? No mortgage, no debt. And they don't do a ton of deals, but they're averaging. Victoria made me laugh the other day when she made the comment, like, it's hard to get out of bed when you don't make less than, it's hard to get out of bed on a deal that makes less than 50,000.
It was obviously joking. She's much more humble than that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just cracking up. I was like, there's some truth into that. It's just because their numbers are, you know, I mean, obviously I've done more deals than you, but your numbers on your profit on these, and they're wholesale deals, right? So out of all the deals that they've ever done, they only rehabbed 1 house, and they don't like rehabbing, right? So we have other mentors like Denise and Lucian. They love rehabbing. So until you actually go to, you know, a process of one of the strategies in real estate, you're going to figure out if you like it or not, or you might like both, right? Some people might like both. Some people might want to do a creative financing deal subject to, you know, multifamily. You want to do, you know, Antonio, who I had Saturday, you know, we're talking about short-term rentals on his and using the BRRRR method on what he does. So you're going to figure out what your niche is, and then you're going to want to add
do it
things
all.
to it. Yeah,
you can do it all. Just focus on one thing to start, and then expand. Every mega millionaire, billionaire started mega focused on one thing, and then they expand.
Correct.
But I do have one thing before we get off a little bit further, and sorry for interrupting. I'd like to use the chat as well. I want to ask a question to everyone on the call. Who knows, since we've only done 1 rehab, some of you might have heard this story before. What is my favorite color? And this is not a Monty Python thing, okay? The older people will know. But what is my favorite color? Put it in the chat and please continue in this. Thank you.
So as we were talking about, so now you find a homeowner. What's that look like? Right, they're in pre-foreclosure. You knock on their door. What, like, you want to kind of walk us through what happens on your first trip?
Sure. First thing Victoria and I do is we just put it out into the universe after we make our list of who we're door knocking. We say, please put someone in our path that we can help today. And it may sound corny, but it works every single time. We knock on a door. Remember, when you knock on doors, same thing you think about when someone comes to your doors. Who are you? What do you want? Are you a threat to their family? So they are going to have their defenses up. So we come up and we introduce ourselves, and we all we're looking for is 15 more seconds to talk to them. So we imagine this imaginary wall that they're looking over, and the idea is to have them, we say something and we want them to take one of those imaginary bricks down. That gives us the permission to talk for more. And we intermix personal things that are going on in the environment to the business. In other words, we came by to introduce ourselves. Our team has helped thousands of homeowners in the past 35 years for free. And there's a lot of power in just that statement alone, because it shows you're not alone. You have a lot of experience, and we work for free. Then all of a sudden you may get a smell that they're cooking in the kitchen. It's like, wow, that smells fantastic. What are you making? And it's part of building that relationship. So you don't have to bombard them. You're never going to have enough time, even if they give you an hour and a half straight, to tell them everything. So you're developing this quick little relationship back and forth. Could be their beautiful flowers outside, a sign. I saw a couple of cool signs from houses, little wood plaques or something, and they were just really, really inventive. So we built the relationship that way, and then go into further about the business of what's going on, and we're here to help, and what makes us different than all the other investors.
I like you combining two of my favorite things: food and real estate.
Speaking of which,
I'm just saying is that the most I've gotten was fruit. When you're walking around the house and you want to pick some mangoes, I love my my Latinos, because you could go in, they'll feed you, you might be there for the day. So and it's important what Harry's saying. It's about building relationships. And so after you built that first one, let's talk about what are some of the benefits of actually doing a short sale. If you want to kind of put it in the chat while we're talking about, what do you think some of the benefits are in a short sale for the homeowner? And Harry, I see some people put some green, blue, beige.
Whatever color money is. Thanks, Alex. My favorite color is mold. Yes, M-O-L-D, mold. Because mold is gold. Banks hate it, and it is whenever I smell it, that's the smell of money. So for those of you who never heard me say that before, there will be a test on one of the upcoming webinars again, maybe a giveaway, I don't know. But my favorite color is mold.
Yep, and I remember when I first started real estate, that's like a bad four-letter word is with an M. It was like, oh my God, please don't say that. It's going to cost me so much money. And now once you start learning these things, it really helps you out to figure, how to get past these things, right? These are all quote unquote, in my past, I always thought these were obstacles. And now, we almost look for it, which is kind of strange. But going back to benefits for a homeowner, what do you think are, I know some people, helping the homeowner relieve financial burden. Good answer, Kevin. What else do you guys think? What's the benefit for the homeowner? Harry, what's some of the benefits you let them know?
Well, in a foreclosure, the bank has the right to come after them for the deficiency. So whatever is owed versus whatever the property sells for, that bank has the right to reclaim that money up to 20 years. So an example, if the house is owed $300,000, it sells for $100,000 at auction. The bank has the right to go after the homeowner for $200,000 for 20 years. Now, what's worse is the bank tells the IRS that is taxable income to the homeowner. So next April, the homeowner will get a bill to pay the tax on $200,000 in that example. A short sale, we get them that waiver of deficiency. That deficiency is that $200,000. So we give them a waiver, a forgiveness of the debt. Therefore, the bank will not come after them at all. They write it into the short sale approval that they will waive their rights to seek that amount. And they declare it to the IRS as non-taxable income. So they have to say where the money went, but it's a non-taxable event. So that's one of the most major where we just saw one where, sorry, Kevin, I think it was, said something about financial burden. So that's the big thing with the finances.
Yeah, and I'm going to add, so the bank's no fool, right? They got all the money. I always kind of joke about that. But, you get that deficiency judgment. And what Harry said, it's true, right? It's up to 20 years because they're just going to refile the judgment is what's going to happen. And they're not going to come after you tomorrow, right? You lost everything. You're in a foreclosure. They're going to what? They're going to wait 5 years, 6 years, right? Now you're back. You got that new job.
10 years, 15 years until you get your feet under you again and making money.
Yeah, you're back in, right? And now all of a sudden, you get a bill. And usually what happens, they'll sell it to a collection company. So I'm just going to keep using Harry's example, the 200,000. They're going to send it to a collection company. The collection company is going to pay pennies on the dollars. You're going to get a bill for 200,000. You're going to say, I don't have the 200,000. I'm going to have to hire an attorney, right? I know attorneys aren't free. I'm going to have to put it like a $5,000 retainer. And now I'm battling with the bank back and forth. And maybe you get it down to 20. It's all that aggravation. I've seen that happen. So when people say, I don't care, let the bank take it, this is why they want to care. When you're in that situation of losing everything, I don't know what the phrase is, like, you're just like, whatever happens, happens. What else are they going to do? Well, that's what they're going to do. So it doesn't go away, right? So the short sale, the day that you actually sign, it's over with that waiver of deficiency.
They start fresh.
Yep, exactly.
Brian is right. Relief from stress is the major part of this. People are not sleeping at night. You're coming out there to help them. You know how stressful it is to them. That's a very, very good point, Diana. Thank you.
Yep. And the thing is, like, I've been through it. So I know what that exactly feels like. So some of you guys know my story. I had 28 plus properties back in the day. And then the great crash of 2007-8 happened. I got wiped out. So, and I'm in real estate and I didn't know what to do. So you could imagine for non-real estate people how overwhelming this is. If you saw the webinar on Saturday, or if you came into our in-person meeting in January, I threw some numbers up there. I think Broward County had a little over 10,000 pre-foreclosures. Dade County had a little over 11,000, and Palm Beach was close to 6,000. And every time I put those numbers up, only 1 or 2% are for sale. And when I say for sale, that means listed on the MLS. So
tremendous opportunity for off-market investors like all of you on this webinar.
Yep, exactly. So one is the waiver of deficiency. What other benefit can they get, Harry?
Certainly, we had someone just respond. Miles was talking about credit. Very true. Foreclosure actually can ding your credit up to 300 to 400 points. and will be on your credit score, on your credit record for 7 years. A short sale will ding your credit about 30 to 70 points, be on your credit for 2 years. However, if in certain situations you can get a mortgage the very next day after a short sale, because the bank marks your bill paid in full, less amount owed. So it's their terminology. I'm one of them. There's other ways to put it, but they basically paid in full.
Right.
So
Like
that you
agreed
don't
upon.
have this following you.
Yep. And what Harry's saying, so it's not going to be through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac on conventional loans, but there's portfolio loans that banks have. So right now, interest rates on the 30 years, let's say it's about 4% or 4.25. I know they're creeping up a little bit. It might be 5.25 and maybe 10% down. So not that, you're a homeowner, you're losing your house today. You probably don't want to buy a house tomorrow. But there are lenders, and again, you do have to show income. There's a lot of other factors to get on that loan, but they have hope. So far, waiver of deficiency is one, right? Credit score is another. Lenders sometimes are giving relocation money. So that's a third benefit also. It just really, again, with us actually, the other big thing is we don't charge our homeowners. So we actually have no fees to complete the short sale. So we've worked with our team just because of the amount of volume we do. We could get away with not charging any fees. There are attorneys or groups that are private negotiators that they'll charge. The most I've seen is $3,500. Have you seen anything more than that?
No.
By any chance? Usually I'm saying $2,500, but the most I've seen is $3,500 on a person that's really losing their money. What about, and we might as well kind of talk about this too. You'll get this objective all the time. They're in pre-foreclosure and they have an attorney. What's the attorney doing? And if there's any attorneys on this webinar, I'm not picking on you. Yes, I'm picking on you. No, but what do you tell them? Hey, I'm working with an attorney. I know you hear this all the time. I hear this all the time.
Well, attorneys are not doing anything wrong. Neither realtors, neither are most investors. But they're telling the homeowner one thing, and that's because they want the business. So whether the realtor wants to list the property, the investor wants to buy the property, or the attorney wants to help them get what they want, and if they give them other options, the homeowner may choose something different, and therefore they won't get billable hours. So attorneys are very specific, and they're listening to the homeowner, and they ask the homeowner, what do you want? The homeowner says, to stay in my house as long as possible. Attorney goes, okay, fine, no problem. They file all sorts of motions and delays and extensions, maybe a year, 2 years, if the homeowner's lucky. It used to be a lot longer years ago, but they stopped that. But what the homeowner does, and the homeowner says, oh, I'm paying him $300, $500 a month. It's a lot less than my mortgage. So I'm saving money. In reality, what they don't know and are not told is that their monthly mortgage payments that they're not making get added into their debt, including interest charges, attorney's fees, late fees, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So even though they're paying a little bit to the attorney, their debt all of a sudden climbs dramatically. So when the attorney has done everything they possibly could, and there's no other options left for the homeowner, maybe one or two, but nothing that the attorney can help with, then the homeowner finds out that he once may have had equity in his house, now he has none, and has to do a whole bunch of things. So you want to talk about stressful, they're going to lose the house anyway in a lot of cases, unfortunately. So Victoria and I, and what we teach the mentees is give the homeowner all the options that are available so that they can make the best decision. Everyone's telling them what to do. No one likes to be told what to do. I'm sure if I poll everybody here, everyone's going to say, no, I don't like being told what to do, unless you're married, of course, in which case you have to listen to.
You have no choice.
You're told anyway. But really, strangers telling you something to do, you don't really want to do it. So here we're giving that power back to them, because then they now know, knowledge is key. They now know if they make this decision, what's going to happen down the road. If they make that decision, this is what's going to happen down the road. Because we, as a collective, can learn about 98% of everything that's going on in their situation. But what we don't know is, what is it that they want? And only they know what's best for them and their families. So when we help them with that information to make the best decision for them and their families, yeah, we do help people keep their homes. They may decide that their best option is to sell the homes, and we will be their buyer. But statistics have also shown that for people who haven't paid bills in a long time, generally a very short time after they keep their home, within a year, 18 months, they are back in the same situation. And who are they going to call but the people who were truthful to them, that were honest with them, that helped them? They will come back to us because they've heard everyone else be very short with them, not give them the time of day and the proper information. So that's what makes us different than all the other investors out there.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, you put people first. I'm fortunate knowing Harry and Victoria for so many years, and that's always been a common theme. And the other thing I always like is you guys don't get too technical on terminology depending on the homeowner. So if you start using, all these big financial words, and we talk about waiver of deficiency, then you kind of dumb it down, like I call it a niche proof, make it easy and understandable. So you want to be at the same level when you're actually talking to the homeowners. What I wanted to kind of do also is show you, we were talking about inspection reports. So I'm going to show you, this is an inspection report from Gaia Construction. And I'm assuming you could see my screen, Harry?
Yep,
hopefully.
We're all good.
Okay, so page 1 of 99. So obviously I'm not going to go through all 99 pages, but he's got the general estimate of repairs. He's got the price and he breaks it down for you. So on this one, $122,000 in repairs with contingencies, right? So he's got pictures.
Can you reduce the size of your screen by about 10%?
Good question. I don't think so. Is it too
Okay, well,
yeah, unfortunately
people will figure it out.
Yeah, but really I just want to show you, this is like an in-depth report, what we're sending to the bank is really what I wanted to show more than anything. Right, so it gives you a good idea. Like this one talks about mold growth caused by
this
water
one
damage.
made us 40,000.
A lot of money. It's even hard to remember the numbers anymore. But this gives you a good idea. So this is worth $275, trust me.
All day long.
Right. So now let me not share my screen. But let's talk about, they finally agree on doing the short sale. All right. They said, Harry, you know what? You're right. This is our best option. One of the things you also get is, before you even get to that option, they're saying, oh, I want to do a loan modification and a short sale. Well, you can't do both at the same time. You can't ask the bank for, hey, less payments, and then also, or forgive my principal. You got to pick one path or the other. So that's always important.
At a time.
At a time, right. And when you're doing the short sale process or the loan modification, they're still foreclosing. They haven't stopped that portion of it. So remember, there's a foreclosure department in the bank, and then there's the negotiation side on the short sale side, and then there's a loan modification side also. And a lot of times, foreclosure, right. And the thing is, remember that most of the time they're not local. They're somewhere, maybe in Bank of America. I think they're based out of North Carolina. And on the other side, they're going through like a checkbox system. So what are some of the things that we need to show, from a homeowner? What items, and you can put it in the chat too while we talk about it if you guys know. What items do we need, Harry?
Well, we have to show the bank why the homeowner is unable to pay.
Right.
So that's a simple hardship letter.
Mm-hmm.
The bank has requirements. If we're doing a short sale, they need the property listed for a minimum of 5 days, preferably including a weekend. So we need the agent and the listing agreement. The listing agreement has a short sale addendum to it as well. We need a contract with the homeowner. The contract has a short sale addendum with it. There's also a lead-based paint disclosure for any houses that are built prior to 1978. It basically says the homeowner doesn't know of any lead-based paint, and we as buyers say we don't care. If there is, well, we're taking it anyway. There's short sale packages. The lender has a short sale package. They want to know income versus expensive. If the homeowner can afford to pay the mortgage, they want to know that. So if their income is here and their expenses are here, that tells the bank they can afford to pay the mortgage. But in a short sale, their expenses are greater than their income, and that shows their inability to pay a mortgage, and therefore the reason to approve a short sale. Our title company negotiators also have their short sale package. It's information that helps them negotiate. Mortgage loan statement is very important because that loan number is the key. If you don't have a loan number, even the bank doesn't know who you're talking, about. They don't know the homeowner at all. So we have that. And in a traditional short sale, like we said, income versus expenses. So what is your income? You have to verify and prove your income. So they look for consecutive pay stubs, 2 weeks or a month. They look for 2 consecutive bank statements to make sure no money's coming in elsewhere. And they want 2 years tax returns. So this is the paperwork we were talking about being a lot, and it's really not that much. They want the copy of the MLS listing and the MLS pending so they can see that it was listed long enough on the MLS. And always an electric bill, a utility bill proves the homeowner is living in the house, because electric travels with the homeowner if they move, but water stays with the house, so that doesn't prove that someone's actually physically living in the property. And that's for those relocation funds that the bank may offer the homeowner. Pretty much, I think that's most of the paperwork.
Yeah, that is pretty much all the paperwork. They will make you sign a 4506. What that is, what they're going to do is ask the IRS to get those transcripts of your tax returns to make sure what you're submitting to them is really true. So I think that's always important. I hate to say it, we're in South Florida. Sometimes there's a little bit of a fraud going around here. So they just want to verify that you're giving them the right documentation. If let's say you're retired or you make less than a certain amount, we could get away with letters saying you haven't filed tax returns or you don't have pay stubs, you're not working. So there are workarounds on that end of it, but you just have to file or create a letter and sign it, and they're going to verify with your tax returns.
It's a simple letter. Why no tax returns? Why no bank statements? Why no pay stubs?
Yep. And the reason they're doing that is they want to make sure, I know back in 2008 or 9, they were called strategic defaults, where they said, look, the bank, my house isn't worth a certain amount of money. I just went down on value. I don't want to own this anymore and get out. So that doesn't work. Remember, the bank's taking a loss and they're writing off your loss. So they want to make sure you're a good candidate. One of the things, as I showed you that guide construction report, we'll submit that also to the short sale process. We'll submit our lower comps too. Once we actually submit everything, the title company, of course, they have their own documents. The reason the title company makes you fill out something. And the most important thing is the authorization letter, so they can talk to the bank on your behalf. So that's always important. After we submit all the documents, in general, it takes, after we get everything, our negotiators will upload the documents, right? So they're not calling Joe at, Bank X. So they're actually using software and they're basically uploading documents. Once the bank, all the documents are updated, I usually say it takes about 7 to 10 days for the bank to actually look at them, give or take, depending on how busy they are. So now they look at them. And now if we're missing any documentation, they're missing a hardship letter. It's going to
Checking the
sit there.
boxes again. Bank is just checking boxes.
So the idea in our negotiators, they won't upload everything until they have everything. Otherwise, your file's just going to literally sit there. So now the short sale is in the bank's hands. What happens next, Harry? Like what's the next thing that goes on?
Well, once the bank enters those documents into their system and it is a complete short sale package, they will assign a negotiator to talk to our title company negotiator. They will review what the contracts and what we've sent in. And then to verify, to make them happy, they usually will have a appraiser come out, sometimes a BPO agent and or an appraiser, sometimes both. To come out and what is the true value of the house, because they are not local. So they want to know and send somebody who's in the area. And usually they send someone out of a different county who doesn't know the properties in the area, which is where we get to tear apart later, but that's later negotiations. So they want to see what that true value is. And then the bank will come back and either accept our offer or give us a counter offer. Now, if we have that counter offer and it's good enough for us, we may just take it. And then if not, we can file a value dispute and argue the fact that that their appraiser was incorrect on these multiple areas.
Yeah, and one of the things is that, the short sales have changed over the years. In the beginning, they were taking our offers. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we were.
No drama. Here you go. Thanks. Now, I would say probably less than 10% of the time, they're taking our first offer. So we actually know that. We build that into our pricing. If they take it, we know they're going to renegotiate with us. So you always want to
learn. They've learned a lot over the years. I remember our first deal that took 30 days. You said, oh, we offered too much. We offered 24,000, something like that, 27,000. Said we offered too much because they accepted it right away. So we went in with an offer of 20,400. Yes, for a house. And they accepted it again. I'm like, darn, we still offered too much. But we made 37,000 on that baby. So
yeah. And the thing is, like, their game has changed, right? So if you haven't been doing deals, you're not going to know this. So again, now the BPO agent comes out, appraiser. You want to meet them, right? Try to hand them the Gaia construction report. They may or may not take it. Depends on the appraiser or BPO agent. Sometimes they'll say, yes, thank you for the help. Sometimes they'll say, no, I can't take this. But if you're at the house, you're going to help them show, or you're going to show them all the things that are wrong. The idea is you really want them, you want to be at that house for that BPO agent or appraiser. You do not want the homeowner showing the house, because they don't want, oh yeah, no, that part's nice. And they're not going to point all those things out that are, that we're looking for to get better pricing. I made that mistake early in my short sale career of, oh yeah, I'll just let them in and take care of it. And then I found out, oh yeah, this is perfect. This is not right. Did you tell them about this? Oh no, I didn't want to tell them. I didn't want the bank to be mad. It's like, oh, so yeah, it was a tough learning lesson, but I figured that out quickly. While the process is going on, I always tell the homeowners, when you're in the short sale process, it'll take 3 to 5 months. One of the things is, think of us like dating, meaning I'm going to need other documents constantly. So I'm going to need updated bank statements, pay stubs. So as you get them, just hold on to them and just go ahead and email them to me, because the bank wants to make sure the situation's still the same. So now after, the BPO agent, we agree on price in general, right? So they actually sent us an approval letter. So how fast or slow? I know we've seen some approval letters that they wanted us to close like the next day, which is not possible because we still need title and lien searches. But usually it's about 30 days out is what I would say. And what I'm going to do is while we're kind of talking, I'm going to actually share. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Hold on 1 second. Yep. Can you see the chase?
Yep, we're good.
So this is actually an approval letter from Chase.
And that was a property I rehabbed. We rehabbed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. So what they're going to tell you is 157 is what they're accepting. 157, 824.09. That is not the purchase price. That's what the bank wants to net, right? There's real estate fees, closing costs, everything on there, right? And they need the money, 72 hours before the closing, or the arm's length affidavit also, which is important. But here it is about the deficiency, which Harry circled here. Any deficiency balance, which is the difference between the balance on the mortgage and the short sale amount remaining on the loan secured by the property above, will be canceled. So you want to highlight that and show it to them. If they want to take it to an attorney, let them.
That is that waiver of deficiency right there.
Right there. So this one actually had a deed restriction. So do you want to kind of explain what a deed restriction is, Harry?
Yes, there was a period where the banks have a sense of humor. And they said that you can buy this property, but you can't resell it for a minimum of 30 days. And they're like, oh, okay. So then if you do sell it on day 31 to day 90, you're only allowed to make 20% profit. So if we had bought it for 100,000, we can only sell it for 120,000. Now with closing costs and everything on both sides, when we buy it and when we sell it, that's not a $20,000 spread. That's more like a $14,000 spread. So they make us hold it for day 91. After day 91, we can sell it for anything that they want. So you'll see there that it says guaranteed is further grantee is further prohibited from conveying the property for a sales price greater than $210,000. That's 20% above the sale price, the purchase price, until 90 days from the date of the deed. So if we want to sell it higher than $210,000, we had to wait to day 91.
And the funny part was this was a quick rehab, so that's why we did it. We had to hold it anyway. So if you don't have the cash, you can do this deal to hold on to, right? So like all those people that don't have cash, this becomes a challenge.
And if we're borrowing cash, there's points and interest and everything, and our profit gets eaten up pretty quickly over this time period. So we have to know our numbers.
Yep. And one of the things also is that, if you really don't know that your numbers, it's easy to get lost or lose money because you're not thinking it through. And, we have hard monies obviously with our RIA, they're not giving you 100%. So you do need that financing capital portion, or actually, capital in general, to close on that deal. One of the unfortunate things is the bank doesn't tell you until you get that approval letter, right? So you're thinking, yeah, I'm reading the price. And then it's like, I'm going to cross my fingers. Am I going to get this or not?
We even had them give the approval, and then the day, 2 days before closing, they sent that an arm's length affidavit signing where they put the deed restriction in.
Yep.
So that was fun. I don't see too many. Do you see too many more of those? I haven't seen any in a while.
It's been a while. We're like, and there's other different kind of short sales. We've been killing it on reverse mortgage short sales too. What I'm going to kind of do is like, Harry, we got a lot of questions in here. So what I'm going to do is kind of let's go through some questions just because of time.
Sure.
I know we've been talking about, short sales. So I'm going to put a poll up here. Our next quick start boot camp is February 5th and 6th. So imagine 2 full days of this, from marketing to closing deals. So we'll put a quick poll up there right now. If you're interested in getting more information, about our quick start. You got questions, any of the above. We could go through it. So let's kind of hit. Kenton's asking, how far out do you write your closings for short sales generally? Harry?
Well, the contract, we have a closing date that we put 30 day, on or before 30 days after short sale approval. So the closing date is actually open. And it says we'll close within 30 days after we get the short sale approval.
Are you guys still there?
Yeah, you're frozen, but we can hear you.
Okay, I missed that. So I'm gonna let you, I guess my internet connection's a little unstable, but hopefully you answered that. I'm sorry, like I froze though.
Yes, it was answered.
Okay.
What was the question?
Diana, sorry, missed. It's a waiver of deficiency, which we talked about. Let's see.
Deficiency is forgiveness of debt.
Yep. If a seller is willing to do the short sale, is getting an inspector to go first before we write the contract? No. Well, you don't want to do that because you want to actually get it under contract. You could put, inspection days on it. You're controlling the deal. You don't want to just be shelling out money. That's pretty much the easiest way. Remember, the homeowner's not getting money, generally speaking, because of the sale, maybe relocation money from the bank. So it doesn't matter what we're actually paying for it.
In the past, we didn't do a contractor repair report until we got them to give us a counter offer. Now we do it before we even submit the offers. It's just part of the industry as it keeps changing, because we do so many in volume that we see these changes rapidly and are able to adapt. And that's why it's important to work with have a good team that's in front of the flow.
Yep. Let's see. Does the inspector take the condition of the neighborhood into does the inspector take the condition of the neighborhood into consideration when calculating value?
No.
Yep, it doesn't matter to the inspector. The appraiser is different. BPO agent, that's different. They're going to look at what's happening in the area. Harry, have you seen more short sale potential properties coming in the market this year?
Oh yeah. Every week I run a new report. I'm seeing 30 to 50 in a 14 zip code area. So they're coming. I saw someone get foreclosed, or the foreclosure was processed on December 26th. Merry Christmas.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
What happens? What if a person had to go assisted living and no longer is living in the house? A relative is still living in it, but not making payments.
It's a long question. We'll try to shorten the answer. We've helped people actually get into assisted living, but if they do it on their own, great. Not making payments, it's still going to be a short sale or equity. It's a pretty loaded question. If someone's living in the property and they're willing to work with you, then okay. If they're really stuck on staying in the house and force of eviction, we can always offer them money to vacate the property when the time comes.
Yeah.
But when we're negotiating with the person on title, so assisted living opens up the fact, are they mentally cognitive, who has control? Also, it's a little broader answer to, it's a broader question.
Yeah, it's a more in-depth question. I just put another poll up there because I'm getting private direct messages about our coaching program. So if you want to go ahead and put that information, let us know. Let's keep going. Let's see. Did you say something about the house needing to be listed on the MLS in order to verify the value?
Not in order to verify the value. The bank wants to see that it's listed on the MLS for everyone to see it. The listing price that is put up by the agent, but these are verifiable, defendable numbers. They're not just, okay, the houses are selling for $300,000 in the area, so we're going to try to sell it for that, even though it needs $200,000 in repairs. So we may see some of these properties are being sold or offered at 80, 90, 120, 150,000, way below after repaired value in the market. But those numbers are defendable. They're not made up. And the bank is looking for a licensed agent, third party, again, from the buyer, to give their opinion on what the value of the property is at the time. But it has to be listed for 5 days so that maximum eyes can see it and make offers.
Yeah, and each lender is a little bit different, but on the rule of thumb is listed for 5 days. They'll usually cover everything. We've seen banks where, for whatever reason, like every once in a while, it needs to be listed for 14 days or something crazy. But
on reverse mortgages, you don't have to list it. No, on reverse mortgages.
Yes, Warren, are you able to attend the boot camp event virtually? Yep, the Quick Start program, it is all virtual. So you'll be in your house doing the 2-day boot camp with us. So
tremendous benefit to taking that class. Tremendous.
Yep. And let's see, may you please define a short sale again. So short sale, again, we're asking the bank to take less than what's owed. Is probably the easiest definition I can tell you. They owe 300,000. The house is worth 200. We need to buy for 150. So we're hoping that they'll take 150 and they'll approve the sale to us. Let's see, what's the shortest time to do a short sale to stop a foreclosure?
Which line are you on? Oh, you jumped one. Okay. What's the shortest time to do a short sale to stop a foreclosure? In the beginning, when you're new, you need more time. It's a lot of work to jump through hoops. I will usually, if a sale date is next Tuesday, I'll start working on it if I have to on Thursday. But there's a lot of procedures. Not only does the paperwork need to be done, the homeowners have to be on board every whatever, if necessary. And then we have to file an emergency motion into the court to bring it back into the court process. Because if a foreclosure sale's already been set, it is no longer an active case in the courts. So we have to force it back into the courts for the judge to postpone. But that's real estate 801. If you're beginning, let's try to give it at least 3 or 4 weeks. Or something. But the banks don't look at any short sale or loan modification paperwork 37 days prior to an actual sale date. So even if you are helping a homeowner, within that 37 days, figure within 45-day time frame, then we'll have to get that sale postponed before they will look at the paperwork.
Yeah, and we usually have an attorney postpone the sale. There's some other things in there. It depends how many postponements. It's usually a case by case, right? How long it's been going on. So there's a lot of different moving parts. It's no quick answer on that, but that was probably the quickest, shortest version of that answer. Got time for probably a couple more questions. If you guys do have questions, you have my email address, and it's anish@bpmria.com. And I know I'm looking at some of these questions are really very specific questions on a case scenario. We got to remember there's a lot of people on the webinar, and it's not just a quick 1 minute, 2 minute quick answer. So Ken says, what's your workaround for deed restriction? We actually hold on to it. So we have the money, we'll close on it. We'll have it sold. We'll just wait till day 31 or day 90, 91, put some insurance on it, water, electric, mow the lawn, all the above. So we build that into our cost. Let's see. And my last question is, so the realtor listed for market price? No, we want it at a lower price so that we could actually talk, convince the bank what the value is. And again, a lot of times these houses are in bad condition.
Very bad.
Yeah, so we could actually, I don't know, make a case for why it is. It's not your traditional real estate where the house is in perfect condition. Realtors in general, right? If they're selling a house, hey, you need to paint this, let's clean this up. We're asking the homeowners not to do any of that. Don't make it look nicer. Don't spend any money. So that's always important too. So I do know I know someone's asking me, I'll put it in the chat if Alexa could put my email address in the chat. That'll help you guys out if you guys have specific case questions. Again, we're also buyers too. So if you got deals and you want to sell it to us, not just short sales, in general. We just wanted today to really talk about short sales, how to get through them. They've been very profitable. And as I just mentioned, the 3 counties, there's well over 25,000 people in pre-foreclosure. So some will go to foreclosure, some will do loan modification, and some will hopefully do a short sale. So any last parting words? I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us for 90 minutes of good information. If you guys are interested in the Quick Start program, the 2-day, I do give you a money back guarantee, meaning if it's all day Saturday, Sunday, and you said, hey, you wasted my time, there's nothing that was advertised. On Sunday, if you said, okay, Anish, give me my money back, I'll gladly give you your money back. So there's no pressure on that. If you want to, if you're interested in our coaching program, book a discovery call, you can just go online and click on the button, and that will get you set up in a Calendly. And you'll start seeing some openings, and we'll discuss, and you'll have specific questions about our coaching program, which I know will take a while because you should have a ton of questions. Anything that you got, last parting words, Harry?
Well, like when Victoria and I started, we just had, our minds were wide open. We went into every class, whether we thought we knew the subject or not, we wanted to learn just one more thing. We felt if we learned just one more thing at any class, that was a benefit to us. So keep your minds open, learn a lot of stuff, try to stay focused. YouTube will drive you crazy. But if you do want to micro focus, Anish has a YouTube, BPM has a YouTube page that has a lot of videos on it. So you can focus on that first. Remember, stay micro focused, learn something first. Mostly why we're approaching wholesaling, and short sale is a big part of it, is because Anish puts up all the money, and it's a simple way to make money fast and foremost. And then as you do that, you'll be dealing with probates and wholesale deals at the same time, but not stay on one railroad track at a time.
Yeah, and I'm going to just add, as I'm at this mastermind, there's probably 25 different investors around the country. And when I tell them our wholesale number, I get the double take. You say, what? How much? What do you mean you didn't rehab the house? So when you're thinking like our market is very competitive, which it is, it's competitive everywhere, but our numbers are pretty big. So that's why, I'm pretty happy about our market too. So I know, Alexa, do we have a winner? Is that what you're going to get?
Yes. So I hope that more of you guys are able to make it to our Quick Start, even if you weren't a winner, but we do have a winner. Her name is Wendy R. So congratulations, Wendy. You're able to attend our Quick Start in February. I hope again that even if you weren't a winner, definitely still come to the Quick Start program. If this, like Harry was saying, if this gave you a little bit, the Quick Start program is going to give you a lot. So we often have a lot of people being able to close deals after the Quick Start. So just believe in the program, believe in yourself. You guys can do it. And I hope to see you guys in a few weeks on February. It's nice to, talk to Harry and Anish like this, but you're able to have your mics on, your screens on, and you can ask some questions directly, so you don't have to just put it into a Q&A.
Yeah, and make sure on Thursday you check out our member benefits. So if you're a member, make sure you check on the benefit webinar, because you're going to realize you're not using a lot of stuff. And if you're thinking about membership with our organization, you're going to see why you want to actually become a member. And if you actually do it right, your membership will be free if you're using all the services too. So thank you guys again for joining us. Make sure you give us a 5-star Google review. You'll probably get an email from the next couple of days, letting everyone know about our events coming up too. So again, thank you guys. Thanks, Harry. Thanks, Alexa. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Stay warm, guys.